Becky Klein.
Yes.
Sherry Peters.
Here.
Dennis Minnick.
Here.
Diana Larson.
Yes, or here.
And Diane Hahn is absent.
Diane Hahn is absent. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have your agenda in front of you. I don't think anything has been changed, has it, Robin?
No.
Okay. So I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Sherry and Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Consent agenda, you have your minutes and the public hearing for the tax levy is the first part of that. And then the second part is the rest of the meeting. And we have our financial reports. Any questions or comments? Anyone? All right.
I move we approve it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Second.
Thank you, Sherry. Roll call, or can we do a blanket one?
I think we usually do a majority on this.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right. Do we have any public comments? Anybody sign up? All right, we'll move on. No unfinished business. So we go to new business, close the utility account.
Yes, so, since we, have been kind of streamlining and trying to improve our, security on our, banking accounts, we're asking that, basically that you approve us to close the utility account. It was an account that we were moving money for, specifically the utility bills, into to be paid from, so those weren't being debited from our general operating account. And now that we have the payables account, that pretty much does that same thing, so we're just asking to be able to close the utility and start using the payables for that purpose.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that process?
Now, I did checks a few minutes ago. It was easy. We only had very few this time since everything's now
Going electronic?
electronic. But I still had, Lord prepared a sheet for me showing everything that was paid electronically that I went through. So I still am seeing all of that.
Good. Right.
I move they close the account.
Dennis made the motion. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Diana. All right, Lori, please do a roll call on the vote.
Becky Klein.
Yes?
Sherry Peters.
Yes.
Dennis Minnick.
Yes.
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Okay. You have your list of policy revisions. It looks like we have about 11 of them, 12 of them. Starting with denial of service, anything on that you had questions?
I'm out of order, sorry.
That was 105.
Okay.
The only thing I was and I mean, whatever you want to do is fine, but, so in other words, if somebody's got $25 balance and they come in and they pay a quarter of it off, and so they only owe $24.75, they can,
Yeah, we're trying to be flexible and work with people, depending on the situation, if they know they have the book or can bring something back, work with them to retain library service while they're still working their balance down.
I mean, is it a big problem? Do we have a lot of outstanding fees?
I don't have any numbers, but not really, because we don't charge overdue fines and things are automatically renewed unless someone else needs them. So really, to get a bill, you have to either have damaged something or lost something or not have found it within, a certain amount of time.
So it doesn't really apply to too many people.
Not really, and the scenario that you're talking about would be more for if it was just around that $25-$30 mark, and anything that's larger, like a very expensive item or a lot of items, that would usually go through Unique, which is the collection
Agent.
service. And they're usually very effective at getting that, and then that will be paid all the way down, or the items returned. So,
They're the service that calls people and sends them letters saying, hey, you have this amount due us, so.
Well, like I said, I really didn't have a problem with it, but I just kind of, yeah, okay.
And that does align with the Evergreen Consortium, their guidelines also.
Any further questions on that one? 505, employee conduct and work rules. I know the one thing I questioned, I sent an email, was pages 2, 3, 4, and 5, the numbers weren't in order. And those will be in order after we approve it, or they'll be bulleted or something.
They'll be bulleted, there won't be any numbers. I just put the numbers in here to reference everything I crossed out before.
I think they, yeah, corresponded to the old numbers.
Right,
Right.
so you know, I picked up everything. I will
Yeah.
take the numbers out and they will just be bulleted.
Right,
Because now they're divided into sections where they weren't before.
correct.
Because I know, one thing I wrote down was, I wondered about political activities. Like in the last, what section would even be, 5? As far as, you know, campaigning while they're working, or wearing a campaign button. I don't know if anybody wears campaign buttons anymore, or just keeping politics out of the library.
And
That is, and there's actually a separate policy for that, which will be, well, I haven't got to that one yet. I've
Okay,
still got 7 of them yet to do under the 500 section. I have not got all of them.
Is it-
That's in one.
okay. Does it need to be referenced in this one, or is it separate, or?
It is actually a separate policy within itself, but it depends. This, remember, this is more of the work rules, which are disciplinary procedures come off of this. So if you break that rule, that particular rule, it's listed here, then that could generate a discipline.
Right, and what about the separate political activity, though? Would it not tie back into,
It will. It'll be the actual policy that talks about it
okay,
and what you can and what you can't do. This is saying if you do this, then it can go into disciplinary action. One's kind of an explanation of this. A lot of the policies this becomes the final working document for progressive discipline. Okay, a lot of the other policies kind of dump into this.
right.
So this would be the result, if you did something like that, we go to this one.
Whatever the other one, the political one
Okay.
is.
Right.
Well, I had that note on here, and so that would answer.
Yeah.
Does that answer yours?
Does that
Yeah,
make
if it's
sense?
covered in, yeah, separately.
It'll be
'Cause I
covered
was just,
separately.
reading through all these going, what else?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be covered separately.
Okay. 506, work schedules. On page 2, I feel like the last 2 blue sentences are basically the same thing.
If notice,
If advance notice and if notice cannot be given. Oh, I'm sorry, the last 3 blue sentences. It just struck me as they were saying the same thing, but maybe not.
Sure.
Page 2. The
Oh, okay, you're talking,
the sentence, the paragraph that starts when an employee
Right.
realizes. So I look at, if advance notice is not possible, the employee is required to notify their supervisor at the earliest opportunity. And then all that red,
It's gone.
and come down to the blue.
and if notice cannot be given before the start of the shift, the employee must notify their supervisor as soon as possible. Just sounded like the same thing, but whatever y'all are comfortable with is fine with me.
Well, kind of all 3 paragraphs, so people look
Yeah.
at the first one says notification should be provided before the start of shift.
And that's what we are
Yeah,
most definitely before the start of their shift. If they can't, it needs to be at the earliest possible
Okay.
time to give us notice. And then if it can't be, because it's an emergency. We
Yeah, I see
We
that.
understand that if they're in the hospital or something like that, just give us the notice as soon as you can, possibly, can.
Do our employees have their supervisor's phone number, or are they to personal phone number, or are they to call work?
They have their personal phone.
Okay.
They do. They'll usually, because we'll accept a text. And a lot of times they'll text their supervisor
Okay,
as opposed to a phone call.
okay.
And we'll accept that. Confirmation that they did. Matter of fact, it's good confirmation because we got a timestamp on it.
Okay, so I was thinking, yeah, it did look repetitive, but I feel like one paragraph is more about being absent and the other is about being late.
Okay,
So the context is different, but the expectations are the same. right?
okay, all right. Whatever y'all need to do to get this across to the
As long as
employees.
they're not contradictory, redundant.
Right,
I'd rather repeat it twice than
Then
not
listen.
at a time.
okay. Personal gifts, anything?
I had just one question. I mean, I understand the concept, but an absolute ban just kind of, you know, if somebody comes in and loves one of the librarians or something, you know, and wants to share an old family heirloom or something, according to this, they absolutely can't accept it. I don't know if it would happen very often, but it does seem, we don't want them soliciting gifts or whatever, but if somebody just wanted to give them something, it seems kind of strange that they couldn't accept it, but.
Well, I mean, this is a not, mostly what happens is people bring cookies
Is that okay?
or, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
'Cause I was
long
gonna
as
say, how do you
okay,
turn
but-
down cookies?
Yeah.
Within reason,
Cookies,
yeah. So,
Cookies, candy,
yeah.
popcorn, a
Well,
lot of things
And
like
again,
that.
I'm not trying to make waves on it, but it does just seem to me that there could be an occasion where somebody, you know, oh, I admire that brooch or whatever. Somebody says, well, I have one at home like it. Well, no, I can't take it.
They can give it to them outside of work. How's that?
They can.
We don't need to know anything about it.
Exactly.
Right, right. They may make friends with them outside of work
That's right.
and
Something
maybe share a gift card or something like that, but
And
not,
if anything, something like that could then initiate a conversation. So, because it does say, you know, if you've got to report it.
Right.
So,
And I fully understand it from vendors and things like that,
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking sometimes they do develop personal relationships.
And again, we don't want to give the appearance of any type of favoritism. All of a sudden, that person's fine has gone off their account.
Yeah.
You know, if we could avoid it at all, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
We just need a policy that says that we wouldn't be susceptible to, you know, gifts as bribes, even though there's not a whole lot we could do with,
Right.
with those bribes.
Wiping away those fees, those
Yeah.
fines, right?
We don't have a lot to offer in our
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
We don't.
okay, moving on to disciplinary. Yeah,
Pat, are you gonna do them 512 next time?
Yeah, it's in, like I said, I've got 7 of them
Right.
left.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. I'm gonna give this to you just as a little, like, just something to think about.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Sit down.
there, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I'll talk to you afterwards.
okay. Okay, 517, disciplinary procedures. Just a lot of change in verbiage.
Yes, it's updated, a lot of these are updating to
Right.
modern HR verbiage, I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
That's really what a lot of it seemed to be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. And in 2 years, probably have to do it again because that verbiage will change.
Anything on performance evaluations? December 1st is the big one, except library director is June 30th. Promotions and transfers. Been using this one a lot, haven't you? Yeah. Resignation. Retirement. Luckily, we haven't had to use layoffs
Nope, we haven't, but it's there.
yet.
You need it.
And then solicitation and distribution policy.
Yeah, because I had political at the top of this one again, but we'll
Right.
cover it in 5 something you said
Yes.
next time.
And we have to watch that because of laws, right?
Yes, a lot of this is law.
Law.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Before you start working on 525, it says political activity employees. Is there one for political activity of library?
No.
Okay, could that be worked into this one? So we don't
No.
have to have a separate, okay.
It
So
cannot.
we have to have a separate policy.
Yes, because this is strictly employees,
Okay,
of what they can or cannot do.
okay.
We can't dictate to the patrons in the personnel policy.
Oh, no, not the patron,
No,
no, no.
no, I mean like the library
library
itself.
itself.
Yeah, so
That-
like, for example, the library cannot have a campaign for her brother, you know, who's a commission. So it's like, it's keeping hands off of politics, agendas, just, you know, just being welcoming to everybody and just making sure that it is, I didn't know if there was a place for that.
That's more, again, operational.
Okay,
Anything to do with the library as a whole, the library itself is more operational
okay.
as opposed to the people in the library.
So,
The employees.
so do we don't have one for
I have
that?
to double check I haven't got into the operational one.
Okay,
yet.
which
I
numbers are
literally have.
those? 6s?
Oh, no, those are actually zeros or ones. The operationals are ones.
Okay, okay.
So I haven't even gotten into those yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to finish all the personnel.
But I mean, if you're asking about like political campaigns and how the library deals with that, our policies are, there's a certain amount of space outside of the front door that you have to be away to operate
Uh-huh.
solicitations and have signage.
Right.
And within the libraries, we have community boards that are equal access to whoever wants to
Right.
put something community related up, and they can, it's just like, it's one of them.
Right,
So,
but not politically.
Right.
They
Maybe
don't have that.
we look at our mission, vision, and values, if you want to look at those in the future.
Okay,
It looks like this. I think it's probably in,
mission,
Your
vision. Oh, yeah, yeah.
but that may, if you want to tighten something up or something, think about it and we can look at it at a future meeting.
Okay,
Do we
Okay.
need to approve these policy changes? Did I make a motion that
Yes.
we approve them in mass?
Yes. Dennis made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? No. Lori will take a roll call for policy revisions 105, 505, 506, 515, 517, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 26.
Becky Klein,
Yes.
Sherry Peters,
Yes.
Dennis Minnick,
Yes.
Diana Larson.
yes.
All right. You have your budget. Thank you, Pat, for working on that.
That's okay. Hopefully I'll get the next 7 done
Okay.
and finish that section.
All right, you have your first reading of the budget for 2026. And Robin and her staff, Lori, prepared a very good narrative to go along with the budget. Do you have any questions? You can email Robin and she can reply to you, or if you have questions that all of us need to know, let us know.
Are we doing our work session like we did last
Well, right now, we
year?
can't find a date that we can all do. So we were thinking, we were wondering if we could get by without a work session, maybe had a deeper look at it in our second meeting when Diane is back next month. And take a little more time in the regular meeting. Or would you prefer to have a work session and go over it line by line?
Tell you, it looks to me like we've done a pretty good job of outlining everything. Really, the only questions I would have had, and I don't want to pose them tonight, but You know, are we sure about our insurance? You know, what the fees are gonna be, or, you know, can we be getting an October surprise on those, or?
Well, we went pretty steep on the, by adding 25%, based on the conversation that you had with our broker. I believe she was gonna shop out, right? So we're looking at, you know, staying with our current carrier versus what it might be to move to a different health insurance carrier. But I just wanted to go worst case scenario
Yeah.
until we know for sure.
Because like I say, I think you've done a very good job of just kind of outlining everything, and I don't care how many paper clips you need.
Because I had a question about the health insurance too, and didn't know, because I don't really even know what our policies are like, our health insurance policies, and I didn't know how they compared to like what the rest of the county employees are offered, or there was some cost savings we could do. I didn't know how generous or expensive our health insurance was.
Well, we're not on the same plan as.
I know, but I'm just thinking it's kind of the equivalent, you know, because this is a county, you know, county operation. I was just thinking about, you know, the other county employees or the library employees have a much better benefit package than Road and Bridge employees. I know it's
We're
different.
separate
I know it's
entities.
separate, but kind of the same, yeah.
No, we're just appointed by
No.
commissioners, but we don't.
It's still
report to
county
them.
tax money.
It is.
Yeah.
We are an autonomous organization. We don't talk to them about anything like that.
It's part of our benefits package
Well, when do we review our benefits package? Do we?
every year at
Every
this
year.
time.
Mhm.
Were the benefits part of any compensation studies that we do, which I didn't know if that was something that figured into that at all.
Not into Omni, not with Omni, no.
Because then I was looking at like the reserve fund that we've started so we can do the early payoff of the bonds. You know, and we're gonna be in debt here pretty soon. So I'd wanna put more than 50,000 in there a year to start saving up for paying off bonds early. So I was looking at some areas, where can we cut back?
Mhm.
Because we can pay off early in 9 years, 7 years, I
We
don't
can
remember.
begin to recall in 8 years.
8 years.
We will not be able to recall everything in 8 years. We
Right.
can only begin to pay. So if we start next year and invest it so that we can compound the interest on it,
Mhm.
and we do that for 8 years, and it could be a different amount every year. This is just what we've
Right.
decided to earmark for this year.
How does how's the insurance compare with private sector? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, how does-
What do you mean?
I mean, like, somebody who's not working for the county, how does?
Like with the school district or somebody like that.
Yeah, somebody not the school district, not, so somebody who's working. I
At
mean, an
Walmart?
insurance, Walmart or insurance company, you know, or something. Because I don't even know what our health insurance has to offer. So, I mean, for the library, so I just didn't know how it compared.
Well, I don't either. I mean, we'd have to take a look at other places. That would be more like a study. I mean, we do the best we can with our insurance agent. They shop it out if it's gonna go up a lot and stuff like that, so.
And when you get into retail company, I can speak Walmart because I worked there for 26 years. But their insurance structure is a lot different. One, they're self-insured.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's different. Blue Cross and Blue Shield is their administrator, but the company itself is self-insured. The employee pays a portion, the company pays a larger portion of it. So it's structured quite different than what we are. A lot of retail companies are not, a lot of them are not self-insured, just the larger ones. But they do have a structure that the employee may pay a portion of that, and the companies usually pay the bigger portion of it.
Yeah, my husband paid a portion. Do the employees pay a portion of their here?
No, we do not.
I guess,
We pay for all of their insurance.
I guess maybe the best thing we could do here, like we were talking about sending questions,
Oh,
is
yes,
maybe
yeah.
on the next meeting, could we kind of get an outline on, you know, what the out-of-pocket is and all that type of thing? Because while I like saving money, I don't like doing it on the backs of employees if you don't have to.
And,
So,
and a lot of it, when you talk about that type of stuff, the out-of-pocket, I mean, so many insurance companies, and Lori can back me up on this, are so different because what is an out-of-pocket for us may be totally different for this company over here. Your premiums are totally different because of that out-of-pocket cost, to the employee. The maximums are different. All of that comes into play when you look at insurance. All those pieces come into play. So it's hard to compare two companies apple to apple of what is truly being
Right.
offered.
Because I was just looking at our personnel costs here, just from 25 to the 26 draft have gone up almost $1 million.
And I understand. And a lot of that is, I mean, some of that is coming from the insurance line. But not all of that. Part of that is coming because haven't totally finished the personnel piece yet because we have no idea what their raises are gonna be yet because of the performance evaluations. So some of that could go up a little bit, some of it can come down a little bit on those lines. This is an estimate from last year on that part of it. This also has encompassed our compensation study that we did, where we're behind the 8 ball again.
Do we have problems attracting employees?
We don't anymore, not for the most part, for most positions. Some positions we do. But we're staying slightly, which we always have, slightly ahead of the competitors where we can. A few years ago, we were way behind, and I think Becky can attest to this, we were way behind. Slowly we've caught up, slowly we've caught up, slowly we've caught up. We thought we were 100% caught up last year when we did that study last year, and we weren't. When we got the study this year, because Missouri has raised the minimum wage starting in 2026 to $15. We're already at $15. They're going from $13.75 to $15, the state is. And so we're already there. So that's helped us somewhat. But overall, when you look at the picture of each different job code that we have, or each different position that we have, there are some discrepancies now with this new $15 and being projected out, and how that's going to impact us and impact in general the state of Missouri.
Because I don't even, how many employees do we have total?
94.
94. And how many are full-time and how many are part-time? If you know off the top of your head, you know.
Right off the top of my head.
Approximately, how's that?
Like 27?
20, I think 27, that's what I was gonna say, was 27.
Full-time?
About full-time, that are getting,
30 hours or
benefits.
more,
Right, that are
Benefits
eligible for
eligible.
benefits.
28. I just turned it into right.
Okay, you just turned it, that's right, you just did that yesterday.
So part-time don't get health insurance.
No, we're only talking about those 28.
And it used to be they hire on for 2 or 3 weeks, something else come along, and we don't have that much turnover like that anymore, do we?
Very, very rarely. I mean,
Since
it's
we've
been rare.
gradually raised the salaries, we
Yes,
have a
our-
little
our-
bit more stability.
The part-time people that we've hired in the last year have been retained at a pretty high rate
Right.
Right,
and in some cases advanced, so.
and advanced, yeah.
So 30 hours or more gets health insurance.
Correct.
Okay.
And 30 hours or more get loggers.
20 hours or
20.
more get loggers.
20 hours or more get loggers.
Okay, 20 plus.
But we pay Social Security, life and disability, Medicare, on all of them.
Yeah, we don't have any choice on that.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
it's not-
yeah,
Well,
that's
see,
what I'm
that's-
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
loggers plus,
loggers is the state retirement
right.
thing that we belong to. Now, when I look at the August 25 budget, and we're not overspending this year, I don't feel like. And some of those balances aren't gonna be used up, am I correct? So a carryover might be more this year.
I think the highest carryover, correct me if I'm wrong, Lloyd, comes from the personnel budget each year, but it's It's built in to hopefully get us as staffed as we'd like to be, but that never really actually happens, so.
Right.
Yeah, because I know we don't, average what, 90% budget every year or something like that, which is great. But
Right.
so we would have more to roll into the reserves funds, but
Yeah, and, we actually had a meeting with the, bond trustees earlier today, Lori and I. And the, money that comes from the bond that we won't be using for a period of time is going to be invested. And any interest that is earned off of that will automatically be put into our repayment account.
good.
So there's a lot of different areas where this repayment money will be coming from. And so just because you see 50,000 on this budget line does not mean that is the only thing that's actually going to be going towards any repayment or prepayment.
And the bond trustee holds the money.
Correct.
Invests it, right? The
Right.
Bank of Oklahoma?
Yes, be okay.
Be okay. That's what I was,
That's what
yeah.
they say. So, I mean, just my 2 cents, I mean, the most important thing that we have is the staff, and if we don't have the staff, and we don't pay them what they're worth, they're gonna go somewhere else, and we're gonna have a hard time doing the things that we need to be doing to serve
the
the
county.
community, correct? So that's why it's always, you're always gonna see that be the biggest
Oh, I
budget
understand that.
line. Your operations is always gonna be second, because again, we have to have a place to do the things with the people. So, I think right now, we definitely just need to see what comes in. What are we really talking about with the insurance premiums, and then we could kind of maybe pick up on this part of the conversation. We'd actually have some real numbers. We're just guessing right now, so I'm hoping that I guessed worst case scenario.
So like Robin, I sent you some questions. Maybe you can include those in a narrative for next month, and if anybody else sends her questions. So we don't want to do it over email and stuff like that, but we send you the questions and then you can update us. And right now, we're not changing any of these numbers. We might change some after we see what the health insurance says, but maybe not.
Yeah, my main concern was that we weren't gonna catch a spike in rates. Mine was not concerned that they were getting overcompensated. It was, I've just heard too many meetings lately where they
Right.
budgeted $1 million and suddenly it came in at $1.3 million. We're like,
Well, you're right, Dennis. My first draft, I didn't have enough in there until I talked to our agent, and then she ran our, what she call it, a claims fund balance or something, and talking insurance terms, and then she gave me some examples of similar organizations like us who had recently renewed, so that gave us kind of a ballpark figure of what we might expect. And I was like, okay, I need to add more in there then, so, or we do, so. And also, just like Lee said, that personnel line, we never spend 100% of that, and it's not because we overshoot. It's a lot of times from transitions, for example, our marketing gal left a couple months ago,
What replaced her?
Right, and we didn't know that, so like our budget allowed for that marketing person to be in that position 12 months this year. That's what the 25 budget has in there, and allowed for her benefits to be on for 12 months. So all of those lines are gonna go down just from that one position, drastically, and then you throw in a few other positions that are, and then someone new comes in, there's a 60-day wait period to go on insurance, and
Okay.
so that's why, those, in my 23 years, those have never come out 100%, so, but we budget as if all positions are going to be there all 12 months, because that's, I don't wanna take anything away from the budget and assume that people aren't going to be there for that. And also, Sherry, in that reserve fund, Robin can back me up there, what'd you say?
I was gonna say contingency.
Yeah,
There's cushions built in for if everybody that could retire retired and paid out all their benefits, plus a cushion
Yes.
for just general personnel budget that's not even offered to the branches unless they run into something where they go over, which they haven't yet, plus whatever you were gonna say.
Well, on the reserve funds there, we have reserves for debt service, but then, that reserve carryover, I don't think in all my years we've ever had to touch that either. That's pretty much just an emergency fund. So, you know, Robin and I could have just put that 132 in the debt service payoff as well. I mean, it's just labeled something different as a split out because it's always been split out as an emergency fund, but in my mind, we will also have that to put into that fund. I'm very confident that we'll have that there.
I'm
as
looking
well.
though, and the difference from this current year that we're in, a approved budget for personnel is less than $400,000.
$4 million.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Sherry meant from 24 to 26?
From 24 to 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said 25 to 26.
I'm sorry, yeah,
That's
24.
okay.
Okay,
Since
well,
24 is
that's
on, sorry,
yeah,
since 24 is on
okay,
here.
I
yeah.
I
see,
did
I
I
see
type
now.
something
From-
weird?
from
on
two-
that?
no.
I know, I went right over and looked at that and I was like, okay.
No, from
get that on
2.9, from
record.
2.9 to 3.8, and I'm like, that's almost $1 million.
Well, we
We
added
upped
a
it.
lot of positions this year.
This last year.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we upped it to, you know, with Missouri minimum wage.
Yeah,
We really,
Because the two new ones you want to add, they're both with Pat, is that right?
mm-hmm. Well, one was already in the budget.
One's
that
Right,
we
one
did.
was this year we talked
Yeah.
Yeah, I
about.
just haven't got around.
Yeah.
We've been real busy with other hiring, so.
Right,
I
that's
had to
not
hire the
good.
branches first.
Although we might, considering what we do have in personnel for this year, we might go ahead and in the coming weeks post for the employee benefits position. So we can have that on board sooner rather than later.
Right, the payroll benefits first.
Right.
because who does all that now, you?
Lori
You and
and
Lori?
I.
You and Lori?
Yeah.
Lori used to do it all.
Yeah, she used to do it all.
Yeah.
And when I took over the HR piece, I haven't been able to take over fully the payroll, but I hope her.
We're getting there.
So yes. And, so we want somebody that can just focus on that, so that can take pieces off of myself and Lori.
Just one thing that I noticed was that stuff either went down or didn't go up very much.
Really, really wanted to be, like, to look at what our actual expenditures have been in a lot of these categories. There's a few years that, like, we've kind of held the number for the budget on that line around the same area, but when you look at the expenditures, they're not there. So I just wanted to be a little bit more realistic about what we're truly doing. And then in the areas where we went up, I feel like I have really good justification for why.
I see three, and so those will probably be the ones that we end up talking about. I mean, why will we talk about one where it goes down?
Well, you can.
No, so it looks like it's been pretty much kept, except just a couple areas which we just hit on a little bit now. It's kept pretty much the same.
Yeah, hoopla is a big thing. I've noted in there too. I need to get with the representative to see what their projections are. Based on our usage patterns for this year. And I just plugged 70,000 in. So I don't know if you remember, like last year, not only did I front load $19,000 because we had it on that budget line for the end of 2024, I put 48,000 for hoopla for 2025. And we're already, I mean, this month it's like $5,500 that we spent.
Because we get charged per
We
use,
do, yes,
right?
we do. So I want to just, I've been trying to look at a couple of things with regards to our settings and talk to them about what they think the usage is gonna be.
And you've been realistic about the databases that aren't being used.
Right. There's some that I really think were great.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, if people aren't gonna use them,
Mhm.
then there's no point. And it could be that we are just not, that's not what the community is interested in. And so if we could put that somewhere else, it's gonna be better.
Okay. We can have a work session if you want one. Let's look at the second reading next month. And if you want to have a work session between the second and the third, we'll do it, okay?
Okay.
So if we can get our questions to you,
Yeah.
then you can answer them at our next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We may, yeah.
Right now, we're not, well, insurance may change that there or some numbers, but Right now, there isn't a lot to change. Okay? Any other questions on the reading? Okay, Bean Stack, Diana, you asked for this line?
Yeah, okay, so thanks for putting it on. I was glad the patron made that aware to us, and thank you for changing the setting. So what I want to see, what I want to discuss, and we really don't need to, I don't think, discuss it. I just want, I wrote it down, so I said, I know Beanstalk serves many of the libraries in Missouri, but I'd like Cass County Library to just look into other venues that offers the same thing. I know Beanstalk does a whole lot for the library, but just look into other venues that Beanstalk has to offer, the same stuff that Beanstalk has to offer, but one that I feel like Beanstalk has a political agenda, and just look for one that doesn't have one. It may not be out there, just one that is encouraging reading and keeping track of all the things that Beanstalk keeps track of. But one that is not promoting some of their agendas. So it doesn't mean we're gonna change, but at least look and see if there's another one out
Aside
there.
from that particular issue that was brought up, what other ways does Beanstack promote, or have you noted that they promote?
I
some
have
sort of
not, it's just that what they did on that one was so blatantly political, you know, that I feel like that's part of their agenda, so.
It's a setting, so I was able to turn off the setting, so I think that's there for maybe, like you mentioned, other organizations that do want to have that.
So is there a
included.
way, I don't want a back door, them to be able to get in through a back door. So if they've got.
It's not a
this-
back door, it's, I mean, there's settings when you're going to create, like a reading challenge. So there's many pages of all kinds of different settings. And so there's for the achievement settings, which is what this was, there's 3 different categories. And one is all literary based. So author birthdays or National Poetry Day or things like that. And if you log something, an achievement, like you read a book for your challenge, and on that day, you'll get a little notification that's like, you've done this on National Poetry Day. You should check out poetry books from your library. Then there's another one that's like internationally recognized events or holidays, and then there's one that's national ones. So Pride was in one of those that are nationally recognized, along with like Black History Month and Women's History Month and
National Pancake
National
Day.
Pancake Day and Chocolate Chip Cookie Day and things like that. So that was in one of those 3 categories. And so I went ahead while I was in there and I was looking through this. I turned off the 2 that were not literary. And I just left it at the one that was literary. It seemed very relevant to me, especially with the reading challenge and the literacy part of it. So there's no other parts of it in that setup that would invite something
Okay.
like that. So I
Yeah.
feel very confident that changing this setting should take care of any potential future issues. And we do have a contract with this company. We still have many more months to go on it. We've already paid for it, and we're going to use it for Winter Reading Challenge. So, but you know, if you want to do Winter Reading Challenge, then you can do it from a patron side and see what the interface is like, and then give us your feedback then on what that is. But we've used it for several years. It's very user friendly for both the patrons and on the staff side. It does what we need it to do. It's well established. I believe that was there as an option, not an agenda. But
And I appreciate you turning it off right away. I do appreciate that. So,
Do you run a test person? Do you put a test subject in there that's just kind of a blank, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whether
Test
it's
on
on the branch level or admin level, almost every year when we turn it on, there's a dummy user
user,
that we make sure we can see it
No, you
from
don't
the
need to
staff
call a
side.
name.
Yeah, right. I don't know what else to call, but Joe Q Public goes in
Yeah.
as a as a user, and then we can see it from both sides with a made-up account number.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we check it with each thing to make sure it's functional
Okay,
before we turn it on. But it does also store a bunch of statistics that we've used it for years now, that are the statistics that we turn into the state and federal government for, literacy programs, and so it helps us in that way to make sure that our statistics are at least being configured the same way as far as usage and completions.
the 1,000 books before kindergarten, is that where they keep those records?
Mhm.
Rather than on sheets of paper that mom wrote everybody? That's
Correct.
how I had to do it.
Some
Many
people
years
still use
ago.
the sheets of paper, but we put that into the system
Okay,
for
okay.
those people. Yes,
Okay,
it's all stored there. Not that it couldn't change, but
Okay.
it's helpful for us.
And we do still, for patrons that want to use paper tracking, even for the summer
Mhm.
and stuff, I mean, that's allowable.
Okay.
Then we just go in and input the info so that we can keep it all in one place and track it.
okay. That answer your
Yeah,
questions for
yeah,
now?
that does.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, director's report, changes in staff positions and branch activity reports and updates.
So as you said, we've had some turnover, some sort of managerial dominoes. Amy Burkholder, who was the outreach manager, is now the branch manager at Garden City. And Ellen Connor, I didn't put this on here, but Ellen Connor, the Drexel manager, is retiring in a week and a half or so. So we just recently this week interviewed for the now open outreach and Drexel manager positions, and hope to have those filled soon. Hopefully soon.
It's two separate positions.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is. It is
okay.
two separate positions.
Okay,
Ellen didn't want to wait for the new building?
Should well,
She'll be in it for.
she should hopefully have a week and 2 weeks to enjoy it. Yeah, I won't spoil Robin's
Oh, sorry.
report on
No.
Drexel.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to jump ahead.
But yeah, Julia Garden City had her 10-year anniversary, which was great. She got her certificate. We've been through the process, as we just talked about. Branches put in their budget requests, and we sort of went through those and approved those. As far as passports, it's something we've been working towards. The U.S. State Department has replied multiple times saying that Cass County does not require additional acceptance locations, and that the existing facilities in the area are meeting passport demand. That's a quote from the email I got. I'm not sure that I would agree with that, and I know the post office doesn't agree with that. So
So yeah, because what other locations are there?
They're mostly all in the north.
yeah,
It's Harrisonville to the north. There's like nothing in the south.
they seemed to be considering it countywide, even after saying, the south is very different from the north in this county. So we're looking in now to other things that we might be able to do, like TSA pre-check approval or background checks. I'll update you as I hear back from those nondescript emails. Yeah, as we talked about databases, we did get a new database, and it's the Help Now database, which is live homework help interacting with a tutor online, and staff did a really big push to go to back to school nights and get that information out. And 182 sessions happened last month. I hope that goes up month to month. But anyway, I wanted to fill you in on that. Yeah, it was nice that most of it was elementary level math, reading, early literacy, some of our main focuses. And I don't know if anyone's been to NRC lately, but they have a new quilt that our facilities department built, a very nice sort of what would you call that? Like
Case.
A case. Yes, a viewing case, display case, where Margaret McIntyre stitched a Cass County themed quilt and offered it to the library, and we volunteered to build her a case, and it was given to her at her birthday party in August, and she was very excited. And so it'll live there, but it may also move around two branches, because a lot of our branches have a monthly sort of quilts. So that just seemed like a very nice community and library interaction that I wanted to let everybody know about. And that's all I got.
Right, talk about drugs. Pretty much sounds like everything is done.
Sounds like.
Oh,
It sounds like, yeah, everything is done with the exception, I mean, as far as the actual renovation. So the paneling has come down, the paint has been put on, the plumbing has been updated. There's a water fountain that's been installed, a door widened for the restroom, so it's ADA compliant. And the carpeting replaced. So the plan is tomorrow, the folks that Lee has been able to gather up
Yeah.
will be back in there to put up the shelving, to re-put that together, and then with the plan of getting all the materials back out on Friday, and then possibly on Saturday, the Drexel staff may go in just to tidy and put up displays and that kind of thing. So it looks like, if all that goes as planned, we should be able to reopen on Monday as we had intended. So we're very excited about it, and I think the Drexel staff has been really excited watching it. Like, I was there on demo day, and we had a good group of folks, of course, the Drexel staff, but also staff from across the library system that volunteered to come and help. And within 4 hours, we had that place completely empty. And then Scott Block and Ian were in there able to start demo and pulling stuff out. So it's been good.
What'd they do about the crack in the floor?
It was not as bad
Not
as
as
expected.
bad.
It
Okay.
was,
Can I actually give a little?
yeah, please.
This is per like Ian kind of telling it. It was actually an expansion joint.
Okay.
So that somebody at some point tried to fill in for unknown reasons. And so that was actually making the hump more obvious and was drawing moisture in.
Okay.
So they were able to get that cleared up, and the moisture should, at a bare minimum, be way better. And also, you really can't feel it now.
Good.
nice.
Good.
Yeah, there's the carpet's down, and we can show you pictures after this if you want to see it. But yeah, we're ready to put the shelving back up in a sort of a new formation that gives them more programming space, and we're 80% confident that we can do that in 2.5 days. So something could certainly change, but that's the
Tiring
plan.
days.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do like a little ribbon cutting or anything? To celebrate the soft reopening? I don't know what you can call it.
Does,
Renovation?
does Drexel have a Chamber of Commerce to do a ribbon cutting or anything like that?
We can probably get a picture in the paper.
Yeah.
We get some coverage?
Already highlighted.
Okay, yeah, so we can probably get a picture in the
Yeah,
paper,
well,
right?
Quilt.
Okay.
We'll let everyone know if something changes about Monday, but by all accounts, Monday we should open normal time, and anybody that wants to can come see it.
And then just some updates on the Harrisonville project. As you've already been updated, the bond sale has happened. And the outcome was better than they had anticipated. And that is actually gonna reduce our borrowing costs and enhance our long-term savings on the debt. They said they received $29 million in orders, and that was against our 6.8 million in bonds. So the closing is scheduled for September 30th. And like I said, we've met with the trustees. They've got stuff, right now there's a lot of paperwork happening. Things that are being FedExed over to be signed and notarized, things that we'll send electronically for DocuSign and that kind of thing. So we're in that point with the financing. We had our last design development phase meeting with Clark and Anderson and Navigate on the 9th, on September 9th. The site plan is going through the process with the city of Harrisonville. It's moving through the review. They've already issued their preliminary notes. And so that's moving along. I think the target is sometime in October to get through that process. We do have an official site address the city has already assigned, and that's going to be 1250 Locust Terrace. And then we're getting a big coming soon sign for the property.
Okay.
So Navigate's working on getting that, ordered for us right now. We've got getting the permit to get that put up. And we'll have a few more meetings with the architects, mostly about covering like furniture and, I think there's a whole meeting they wanna do about doors. And like wayfinding and signage and things.
Yeah, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
I told them, I said they must get a kick out of the things that we get hung up on in these design meetings and talk for a really long time about. And then the things that we're like, oh, that looks good. Yeah, that's fine. Like faucets was a thing. I don't know. And then the plan is Navigate should be here next month to give you guys an update from their perspectives. Where we're at on those.
Next summer's library program theme looks fun.
Yes, yeah, the
Read, score, roar.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the theme, just the general nationwide theme, is that dinosaurs kind of STEM thing, and a lot of the library staff, not only ours, but like all over, was really excited because that's kind of an easy, fun theme. You can do a lot with that for programming, and so no one. While we wanted to celebrate the World Cup coming to the area, no one wanted to give up the dinosaurs. So this was the solution.
Okay.
And
Thank
that
you.
would actually, I was just gonna say, the last time somebody scored a goal in soccer was probably when there were dinosaurs.
Okay, in the way the foundation update, the book sale is October 23rd, 24th, and 25th at 1827 North Cass Shopping Center. It's in the storefront right next to Furniture Deals. And I'll be getting information to Dennis's paper and the North Cass paper and Facebook pages and such. And we're really going to be pushing for drop-off of books starting October 6th. But we've already received 20 boxes of books. So it's coming in, so.
Oh, we drop off books there at that site.
At that site, starting October 6th in the afternoon. But it'll be in the news release and I'll get that written in the next day or two. Any other comments, trustees? Then can I have a motion to go to legal session, please?
Second.
All right. We have a motion to go into legal with Missouri Revised Statute 610.021.1. Lori, would you take a roll, please?
Becky Klein?
Yes?
Sherry Peters?
Yes.
Dennis Minnick?
Yes.
Diana Larson?
Yes.
All right, and I will make a motion that we adjourn. Our next regular meeting is at, well, we're gonna adjourn into executive now. I can't do that. But the next meeting is October 15th at 4 o'clock here in the branch meeting room. Thank you for coming.